G'day mates, Argsy here. Welcome to Western Australia, but not the Western Australia you think I might be on. This is Western Australia 4X. Now this is the original map by Decan Kane, which has been given the Lancyboi treatment. So Lancyboi has released this recently, it came out on the weekend. With Decan Kane's blessing, he has basically not fully redone the map, but he's gone over it, updated it, refreshed it, and given it a whole lot of new features, which we will go through. But I'm just here, we're at the house. You'll already see it's looking like a lush day in Western Australia. Quite a bit different looking to the 16X I have been playing on, but still the same farmhouse and still much the same layout in the farmyard. So we'll go have a look at that. I'll talk you through some of the changes Lancey has made, what he's given to the map. Take a look at the PDA, have a look at the fields, compare it a little bit. Well, I'll talk through some of the comparisons to the 16X, which some of you might be familiar with, having watched my series on that. We'll take a look at the new crops that are added, all the new features, and then just take a bit of a look around some of the map and down at the sell points as well. We're just wandering over here. Obviously this is a little bit of a different path. Still got the caravans in here on our right, field out here on the left. So one of the things you will notice, everything's looks a lot smaller than the 16X. Obviously there's less area. The fields are nowhere near as big as what I'm used to playing on, but still pretty decent sized fields, and certainly something you're going to want to use course play on and those kind of things. But if we just walk around here, I'm just going to walk around the yard, you'll see we've still got the same shed there and pretty much exactly the same farm layout. Some slightly different positioning of things, but this harks back to the original 16X, the original 4X, sorry, by Decan. And there, so we'll just while we're walking around, we'll take a little bit of a look at some of the equipment, truck and trailer there, which is nice. Obviously this is the main equipment shed, still all exactly the same as what I've been used to, so all very familiar. Got a nice Challenger tracked down there. We've got the big Seed Hawk air card and air seeder. So Lancey set it up with some great equipment. He did ask for a few suggestions which I gave him, and he's used some of them and hasn't used some of the others. Self-propelled sprayer there, nice little case tractor there with the row crops on it. But yeah, like I was saying, this shed is all as per all the others. Got the fent there, even got the auger out, which is a nice little touch. Must be doing some work on it. So we come out here and head out. We've got a liquid fertilizer spot here, and we've actually got the triggers on. Now that's something that's missing off the 16X map, is I can't use that liquid fertilizer fill point, so it's nice to have that down here at the yard. If we head over this way, I think this is a herbicide one as well. And then there's the diesel, which we've obviously we've been able to use, but that is there as well. Head down through the back here, got the two big sheds here, again the same as the first one we saw. And if we just have a look over here, nothing in that shed, but we've got a lime spreader or fertilizer spreader over there. Rather large cultivator, so Lancey's done a great job at sizing the equipment what might be needed on a farm like this. The other big shed here looks like it's got a header and a header trailer in there. You'll notice a few other little differences. There's a bit of a link through here which gets into the farm silos. Again, exactly the same silo layout. You can go around the end, you've got your dump point on the side. Then if we just run around the other side, you will see the fill point just down there. You can see the auger hanging off the side of that central bin. Still got the TV aerial, or that'll be a CB radio aerial, which you'd need on a farm of this size. Heading over this side, we've got the workshop building. Lancey does have a workshop trigger in there, which is good. Obviously nothing in there at the moment. And this sort of workshop area at the back, we've got a wheel loader, a couple of attachments for that. Then lastly, just this smaller little utility shed, got the corn header in there, even got a baler. Pressure washer, which is perfect for keeping your equipment clean when you get back in from a hard day's work. Some nice lighting as well. We'll take a look at the effects of that later on when it's dark, but he's put up some quite decent quantities of light around here. So like I said, the farmyard is pretty much exactly the same as what we're used to. Slightly different positions. I haven't actually compared whether the 16X changed those positions and made the yard a little bit bigger, or whether it was changed between the original 4X and the this 4X. If we just head down here, I'm just going to walk down to the road. I should actually have grabbed a pickup. In fact, maybe we'll do that. We might jump into a Hilux or a Land Rover or something like that, and head down to the sell points. Take a look at some of the fields on the way down. But you'll see here, nice red soil that you get in Australia. Very, very much as the original map was by Decan. Obviously a great recreation and refresh of that. But here's our sort of two fields either side that we've spent a lot of time in, but certainly a lot smaller than what we've seen. So we'll just take a look at the map here. Now you'll see up the top there, field number 1 is owned by you. That is part of the yard, all bundled together. Now what I'm used to is that being one field and actually being even wider, being a 16x, and how much more space there is, and the different size fields. So we've got field 11 there, for almost 400 acres, $136,000. So very affordable land parcels. Right down here, 21 grand for 63 acres. So if you're looking at building a farm and starting out somewhere, you could actually buy that and build your own little plot of land. Just have a look over here, 42 grand. So still really decent sized fields, 122 acres there, but very affordable. Over here is the main sell points and the shop and a few other resupply points, which we'll go down and take a look at in a minute. Well, I will just organise ourselves a vehicle and we'll go for a drive. Alright, that looks a little bit better. Nice orange Toyota Hilux. Let's jump in here. Right, so we'll head out here and go for a bit of a drive. Now, the first thing you'll notice, which differs to what I'm familiar with, is we actually have traffic on the roads. The 16X does not have that, but we do have to contend with it. Which actually makes me think of another point. Can't actually see any right now, but Lancey had aircraft on here. I have seen, like he did on American Life Farming, he had a couple of jumbo jets flying around, so we'll have to keep an eye out for those, see if we can spot them at some stage. But we'll hang a bit of a right, head down here, and go and check out the sell point. You can see there on our left is one of the new crop types. It looks like sorghum to me. There is quite an extensive collection of crop types. So while we're heading down there, let's have a chat about some of the other features Lancey's added. So all of the Maize Plus extensions, the whole suite has been put into the map. So that obviously adds a whole lot of extra options for grass and those kind of things, the horse grass, field grass, that type of thing. Now bear in mind that there are no animal pens, but that certainly does not prevent you from purchasing your own and creating an animal farm if that's what you wanted to do and how you wanted to play the game. We've got the straw harvest add-on, it's compost station, so there's compost in the map, at the sell points. Manure system ready, just trying to read and drive straight at the same time. Seasons ready, precision farming ready. He's added the fruit destruction 2.0, which was part, if I understand correctly, part of the Maize Plus package. So plenty of additional features in there. Over there you can see we've got an operating train as well, so that was not something that has been in the 4X or the 16X. But these fields, as we go past them, certainly not the size that I am familiar with, but certainly would be very manageable with some good course play and some decent size equipment to make it quite a fun map to play on. So just arriving down here from the farm, just pulling into the sell points. Another thing I like, the traffic actually seems to be going at a decent speed there. Not quite as slow as some of the other traffic. Not sure exactly how fast it is, but it certainly seems better than we've been used to. But as we come down in here, again, very similar in all the layout. It's just the scale is a little bit different to, again, what I'm familiar with. I'm not comparing this to the original 4X. By Decan, I'm sort of looking at this in regards to the 16X, which is what I am most familiar with. So on the left here, that is the spinnery sell point for wool, and I'm not actually sure. If we just actually pull up the menu, we'll take a look at the sell points. So the spinnery, which is where we're at, so that provides you sell point for cotton and wool. Seems to be all there is through there. Then we've got the hay trading, which is on the other side of where we are, which has all the sell points for straw, silage, hay, as you would expect. And that's over there where those bales are. We'll carry on, just driving down here around the silo complex. Nice to see some people walking around. I had them described as zombies, so they're just on a spline. Probably a little bit excessive. Quite a few people for where we're at. Just here on the left, I believe that this is a fertilizer buy point, liquid fertilizer. And then down here on the right, there's a couple more spots. There's auger there, which has fertilizer on the sign, and then a sign there for lime. So a couple more resupply points. So you can set up and use some auto drive to come down with your vehicles and pick things up from there. If we just have a look here, again, got this line of people walking through, but this is another one of the sell points, which we are very familiar with already. Now heading down this way, now I'm assuming, just looking there, I thought the trains might have gone on the outer track, but the trains must run and actually go through that, spin around here, go through the loading station there on the right hand side as we're looking at it, which is quite nice to see. So one of the difference to what I'm familiar with, the main shop is just here on the left. So we've got the trigger there for the shop, and while we're here we might as well just check and see where it is that your vehicles spawn when you purchase them. Alright, so just here we'll just buy ourselves a little Fiat. We could actually lease it, but we'll buy it there, it does not matter. So we'll just go and see where that is going to have appeared. Looks like I can see its wheels poking there underneath the back of that truck, and there it is there. So this is the spawn area for your vehicles. I do believe that they might spawn here along in front of the trucks and further along once that space gets a little fuller, if you're building up a big collection of vehicles. My suggestion, if you're doing that, try out the store delivery mod, and you could potentially set things up so you don't have to drive all the way back to the yard with all your equipment. And if we just look up there, you'll see there is one of the jumbo jets crossing the sky, which if you've played American Life of Farming you will have seen already. So we'll go back and jump into the Hilux and go for a drive over to where the other sell point is, which is where the rather large outdoor heaps of grain are stored. So we're just driving in here, forced to go over the weighbridge and sampling station there, and there's two sell points. So we've got the one up here over top of this conveyor, which is I believe this is Western Grain Australia Inc. There we go, and we've got the other one, which is Grain Trading Australia. So two options here, much the same as what we have on the 16X map. Main difference here is we've only got the one row of piles. The 16X map has a larger extent, but we do have a lot of people walking around here, so fortunately they don't walk across the sell point. But if you had a rather large road train in here trying to sell off some product, it might be a little bit difficult to do it without crashing into people. Now I was automatically going to drive that way because that's what I'm used to, but there is only the one in and out to this sell point. Just taking a look here at the minimap and the crops, you'll see there is basically our standard list of crops. Nothing special. You do see rye down the bottom there, so that is a little bit additional, but it's when we get to fruit types 2, the second page, that it really comes to life. And that is quite a list of additional fruit types. So just running down there very quickly, you can see all the ones that come in with the maize plus extensions, the alfalfa, clover, field grass, hay grass, pasture grass. And then down the bottom, another half a dozen new crops here: carrots, onions, mustard, millet, sorghum, rice. So a great variety and opportunities there to try out some different equipment. And just one thing I do notice, if you've played American Life Farming, you would have known that Lancyboi had included a modified Homer pterodactyl combine or harvester. In that, there isn't that same modded harvester available on this map. I'm assuming because that was a console-based map as well, it needed to be included because obviously that is not a mod that's available through the mod hub. So Lancyboi had to add it in for that map, but obviously being a PC only map, being 4 times, there there is more options for you to go and find your own modded harvesters and find one that is suited to harvesting any of those additional crops. Some of them can be done with a combine, like rice, rye, sorghum, millet. All of those can be harvested with a regular combine and regular header, but it's the onions and carrots which will need a specialised harvester there. We'll just take a quick drive down here just to take a look at a few more of these fields, and then we'll wrap things up with a little bit of a flyover and just taking in some of the features of the map. So we're at the boundary of the map just there, so we've kind of got the roadworks going on, and it just disappears off into the red dirt country. There's one thing I actually do like that probably isn't as pronounced on the 16X, is actually that red dirt around the outsides of the map. You look across it and probably a function of the size, and it's easier to see the boundaries of the map here, but the red edges there are quite pronounced. We see another entrance there into the sell points, which is much the same as what we're familiar with again. I'm just driving here along one of the dirt tracks through the centre of the map. You can see the rather vast expanse of fields. Still a very large map. Honestly, I think this would make a great multiplayer map to get on and do some harvesting, do some work with a group of mates, or just meet some other individuals who might want to do that. We've certainly, through the Argsy gaming community, have had a server set up already on this map, so if anyone's interested on joining that, then make sure you jump into the Discord server and you'll be able to get access to that. So special thanks to Legion, one of our community members who has sponsored that server. But we'll just carry on driving through here and head back down to the farm just to take a look at some of the features, some of the terrain, an old rusted out car there, a little bit of a campsite type thing. These fields still are a very big field, and they are not to be downplay the size. That's just not as big as what I'm used to, but by any stretch of the imagination, these are very vast fields, and will still take quite a serious commitment to work on a farm of this size. We'll just head along here, get back down to the farm, and we'll take a little bit of a look at the fields from above. So back here at the farmyard, we'll just fly up into the air using some easy dev controls and go for a little bit of a fly around. We head around in a clockwise direction. Just take a look at the map from above and just get a general feel for size of the fields, the layout, and an overall impression of the map. So that is just a very quick general overview of the Western Australia 4x map that's been re-released by Lancyboi. Obviously want to say a huge thanks to Decan Kane for allowing him to give it a bit of an upgrade, add some of these new features to it, all the maize plus, all the additional crops, and just to generally go through and bring it up to the standard that maps are at the moment. Obviously, if you're looking to play on Western Australia, I can thoroughly recommend it. I've had a great time playing on the 16x map, but this one will just be a whole lot more refined, a whole lot more finished. I know the 16x was always a work in progress and has never been finished properly, so if you wanted to play with seasons, if you wanted to play with precision farming, I can highly recommend getting into the Lancyboi's Facebook page, showing them some love, and getting the map downloaded. So I hope you've enjoyed that tour. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave you with a few images of the features around the map. Take a look at some of the nighttime lighting, just so you can get an idea of those yard lights I was talking about earlier. And a little bit of the atmosphere that seasons lighting might bring as well around that dusk and dawn time, because I do know that that can create some pretty cool effects. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.